Hello, I'm Orange Cat, and this video is to basically kind of go over this really bizarre week Toonami just had. Let me start with, I guess, the chronological events of this week and how they got so controversial. First, on April Fool's Day, no less, April 1st, we got a new schedule that was supposed to start on April 13th. That is next Saturday, not last night. And it was very poorly received in general, especially by the fan bases of JoJo, which show got pushed from 1:30 to 3 a.m. even after Hunter x Hunter, and of My Hero Academia, who got pushed from midnight to 1 a.m. in the middle of season 3, which is generally regarded the best season of the show. The two decisions that were very poorly received and generated a bit of controversy right then and there. And also, there was another thing kind of tied to it. The original plan, allegedly the original plan for Saturday, last night Saturday, was to air a repeat episode 8 of Sword Art Online Alicization, and then air Sword Art Online episode 9, new episode at 1 a.m. How this was controversial is one, you have people kind of angry that you would have a rerun in the middle of the block, and also you have with the new schedule setting up, you would have had April 13th, you would have had Sword Art Online pushed all the way to 11:30 right after Super, and Dragon Ball Z is kind of well known for having a very young audience. Like, if there's one show on Toonami that 8 to 10-year-olds would sneak up and watch, it is Dragon Ball Super. Dragon Ball is such a massive brand, so you're going to have a lot of young people watching it. And what the controversy was is that for the first week with the new schedule, with that new proposed schedule, you would have episode 10. As if anyone knows much about the controversies behind Alicization, you know that episode 10 is a hot button issue because of a very graphic rape scene. So you have the controversy of people thinking, oh, you're going to have maybe some of these 8 to 10-year-olds lingering around watching a hardcore rape scene. By the way, I watched it last night. They cut roughly 1 minute of the rape scene out. I'm going to address it a little further in a minute. But so it's like, oh, what if the first week of this new schedule, you have a bunch of these pissed off soccer moms calling like, why did my kid watch this weird guy rape this 13-year-old girl? But she's 16, but anime girls tend to look younger than they really are. But yeah, that was a bit of a controversy. But that got overseeded later when it was announced that they're actually going to just air 2 new episodes, episode 9, and then the controversial episode 10 last night. So the controversial episode was back at 1 a.m. later in the block. So regardless what they really aired, it wouldn't be as controversial because of the time slot. So then what you also had was, of course, with all the complaints about this new schedule, you had, I believe, either Wednesday or Thursday. I posted the video a few hours after it was officially posted, a new schedule for that Saturday, which from last I checked is unprecedented. They never had a schedule, never air that schedule, and then have a completely new schedule set up. And at least give credit to them, it's much better. JoJo actually gets a promotion, which I thought was a smart move considering you are getting to the final home stretch of Diamonds Unbreakable. If I remember correctly, Stardust Crusaders did lead to a brief increase in ratings for the show coming to the end, considering how very famous that ending is. And a lot of people, from what I've heard, really think that the ending of Diamonds Unbreakable is comparable to that. So I think that's a smart move. It's a show that will bring you ratings at a 1 a.m. slot. And then also, just in general, better. Like My Hero Academia gets a promotion. It's the show following up Super. I said, other than Boruto, My Hero Academia was probably the only other show that could seriously hold on to Dragon Ball Super's ratings, in my opinion. I think that was a smart move. And then Promised Neverland stays at midnight. That's going to be interesting to see next week. And there's a controversy about that I'm going to address a little later. So then after that, I guess we go into the whole build up to the Sword Art Online Taboo episode. The name of the episode was Taboo Index, this 10th episode of Sword Art Online Alicization. I'm going to give you just a brief synopsis. Previous episode, we found out that one of the two villains, I can't even remember the names, the long blonde hair guy and the guy with the buzz cut. Like, the guy with the buzz cut was telling his female trainee to basically have sex with him. And she was rightfully very insanely uncomfortable with that. And then you have this thing where the 2 pages, both female, of Kirito and Eugeo would go on and basically confront them. And they get tied up, get forced onto the bed, and then right in front of Eugeo get raped, almost raped. I don't think they actually got really raped, but they almost got raped by the 2 bad guys. And then Kirito and Eugeo basically save them, albeit breaking the taboo index and getting themselves taken away. I spoiled the whole episode, but still aired last night. Don't think it's much of a spoiler alert. So basically, it was this whole controversy where DeMarco came out and said, "Oh, we heavily edited the scene, but we're still going to give it TVMA SV." If you about the TV rating system, it's TVG, TVPG. Most episodes of the show are TVPG, TV14, and then TVMA. TVMA is the hardcore stuff. Like that's like the more seriously adult shows on Adult Swim, like Metalocalypse, Mr. Pickles, like that tier is TVMA. So it's a big jump and also the letter system. Like this was TVMA SV. S stands for sexual content, V stands for violent content, which means the reasons why it got such a high rating was because of graphic sexual content, because of the rape, and violent content, because you do clean to see multiple arms get cleaved off in this episode. So, and it was interesting. A lot of people like, oh, are they going to really just murder the cut out of the scene, cut almost the entire scene out, or is going to make very light cuts? The cuts were reasonably light. Like, you definitely saw enough to know that these girls were being raped, and not enough to, I guess, get all the angry calls for the pissed off soccer moms whose 4-year-olds are for some reason watching Sword Art Online or TV at 1 a.m. when they should be in bed or something. So, I, and that's oddly enough, the one thing that looked definitely like there was going to be a controversy this week ends up not really being much of a controversy at the end of the day. And honestly, that's one thing I kind of have to commend Toonami for. They handled this episode reasonably well. But last night there was another controversy that happened to spring up, and that was the trailer was released last night for the Promised Neverland, the show that is debuting next week, a very hot, very wanted anime, very well received in Japan. A lot of people love the manga, and I'm expecting good things out of the show. However, remember I told you last week or a couple weeks ago that this show is best left if you go into it absolutely blind. Like you hear the title and you just go into it. And I was a bit worried about the trailer. It's like, how are they going to convey the atmosphere of the show without blowing some of the early twists in it? The trailer blows some twists, some very notable twists. So I'm going to go out and say, if you haven't seen the trailer yet, if you weren't watching Toonami last night, let's be honest, if you're watching Toonami last night, you saw this trailer 5 million times. Don't watch it. Just go in blind, midnight on Saturday, and that's the best way to enjoy it. So there was a bit of controversy there. People like, it's not a good marketing for the show to kind of spoil a big thing about it early like that. Which is why when you do a lot of trailers, with some exceptions for TV and movies, you generally front load with like jokes, like comedy bits, or you front load with stuff that's in the first episode or two, like the more riveting moments to avoid spoiling the entire show. And that's something I think Toonami did poorly. They kind of just spoiled it quite a bit of the show right there. A lot of people don't like it. But like I said, in general, this was a pretty rough week for Toonami. Like at every single front, there was some type of controversy, and that's just not good marketing for Toonami. Like, you can argue that the controversy behind Taboo Index was one of those, it's like all press is good press. I'm not so sure in this case, especially if you're on our Toonami last night. The whole page was front loaded with trigger warnings, a concept which I'm personally against. Because let's be honest, like before each hour on Toonami, before each hour on Adult Swim in general, they have a disclaimer saying, hey, there's some material you might not find suitable. Watch at your own. Viewer discretion is advised. I think that's good enough. And a lot of these people on our Toonami really were just like, we need extra protection this episode. We need extra screens before it. I'm not for that. Like, you're fair warned enough. It's Adult Swim. It's edgy. It's gonna have stuff you're not gonna like. It's full of TV14, TVMA content, and you should know going in, you're not gonna watch Teletubbies here. But rant over right there. What do you guys think about this week on Toonami? Was it a bumpy ride? Did you enjoy what they did to Taboo Index, the Sword Art Online controversial episode last night? I want to hear what you guys think. Leave a comment down below if you like this content, if you want more Toonami content, if you like some of the random meme videos I do. Please subscribe. I really appreciate your guys' support, especially how this last few weeks I've really gotten a lot more support, and I appreciate you guys. and I appreciate what you guys have helped so far for my channel. And that's all I have to say for this week. And I am Orange Cat, and that is all.